Alright, welcome back to the lab. In our lesson, we looked at reduce. Reduce is a higher order function. Reduce takes two arguments. Reduce will iterate through our array and return one value to us. Reduce is flexible and highly customizable. Map and filter, we already looked at, perform one kind of specific task, but reduce has a high level of customization. Alright, let's go ahead and do a practice problem. Let's go ahead and look at an array of objects. I'll declare a variable called home runs and assign to it objects with property names for batting order and assigning those properties home run number variables. Our goal will be to add up all the home runs from our batting lineup. We'll declare a variable called total homers and assign it to the value of our home runs array and call the reduce method on it. We will pass the reduce method a callback function. Only this time, for the parameters, we won't be as descriptive as we were in the lesson. Functional programming usually keeps it pretty simple. We'll use parameters a and b for the accumulator and the current value. Since we aren't going to return the index or array, we really don't need to put them in as parameters as we did in our lesson. We will console log our accumulator and current value to see what they are doing, however. I'll just put the string accumulative followed by the parameter that will hold our accumulated value followed by a string current value with this corresponding parameter. We'll then return what we were looking for, the home runs in the lineup. We'll take our accumulated value as we move through the array and add the current value. We start with 0 and 12, then move on to 12 and 21, then on to 33 and 28, and so on. When we return the value of total homers, we get 194. Alright, let's go ahead and get started with a couple implementations of the reduce method with a challenge. I want you to create an array of numbers. Let's use at least 5. I then want you to use the reduce method to find the sum of all the numbers. Next, I want you to use the reduce method again to find what all the numbers equal when you multiply them together. And then I want you to do one more thing that might require a little bit of brain power. I want you to use the reduce method to return the largest number in an array. That'll be tricky. You'll need to use some if-else logic. Alright, go ahead and pause the video and give it a shot. We'll come back together in a few moments and find a possible solution. Alright, how'd it go? These first two challenges probably weren't a problem for you, but hopefully allowed you to solidify what you have learned through practice. Let's create an array of 5 elements, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. Let's first find the sum of them all. We'll just put reduce on our numbers array. We'll pass it a function with parameters x and y. Remember, these are the same as our accumulated value and current value. We will then return the final value after we have gone through the array. When we do a quick console.log, we see that 5 plus 10 is 15, 15 plus 15 is 30, 30 plus 20 is 50, and 50 plus 25 is 75. Now, let's do the product of all the values in the numbers array. We'll come up with essentially the same code, but instead of the additions operator, we'll use the multiplication operator. We have 5 times 10 for a value of 50, followed by 50 times 15 for a total of 750, and so on until we finish our array with a total of 375,000. Okay, time for a big challenge. This will require you to do some thinking. You are going to use the reduce method to go through our array and return the element with the largest value. Let's look at a possible solution. We'll use our reduce method on the numbers array. We'll go back to our parameters of accumulative and current value. Then we will run into a conditional statement. Our keyword if is going to force us to ask if the expression between the parentheses is true or false. If it is true, we enter the code block. If it is false, we step over it. If it is true, we'll return the current accumulative value. If false, we'll return the current value. Let's go ahead and switch up our array for this challenge. Let's change the order to 10, 5, 20, 25, and 15. In our first run through, our cumulative value is going to be 10, and we will ask if it is greater than our current value of 5. That is true, so we'll return the cumulative value of 10 at this point. But we are going to continue to iterate through our array. So we will ask if our next element of our array, 20, as our current element, is smaller than our cumulative value. That is false. So we go to our else statement, returning our current element value of 20. We continue to go through our array till we return the value of 25 as a single value of the array that is the largest. Alright, we'll go ahead and close out with one last example that we will practice together. We're going to use both the map method and the reduce method together. We're going to use the map method on an array to return a new array. Then we're going to use the reduce method on that array to return the new value of that array. Actually, instead of doing this together, let's make it a challenge. You have everything you need to do this easily. It might take some brain power and remembering the chaining method we saw in earlier lessons, but you can accomplish this on your own. Go ahead and pause the video, and then we'll come together in a few moments and find a solution. Alright, how'd it go? Let's go ahead and create a numbers array. We'll declare a variable and assign it the array with the elements 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's first implement the map method. I'll go ahead and transform every element in the array by multiplying it by 3. We'll apply the map method to our numbers array. We'll pass to it a function with a parameter of number to represent every item in the array that we are going to transform. In our code block, we'll return our new array of every element multiplied by 3. Our next step is to take all the values of this new array and find their sum. We will chain the reduce method to our current code. We could also just attach it to the triples variable if we wanted to work in a less efficient way. We'll pass to it the callback function with the parameters a and b representing the accumulated value plus the current value. Our tripled values are 3, 6, 9, and 12. And now we are going to add these values together. 3 plus 6 is 9, 9 plus 9 is 18, and 18 plus 12 is 30. And now our triples variable has the value of 30. That is all we have for our lab now. Thank you for joining me and taking a look at reduce in action. We'll see you in our next lesson.